In the parable of the redemption of Zion, the servant and the warriors did everything the nobleman commanded, and as a result, the campaign to redeem the vineyard was successful. In the redemption of Zion, led by Joseph Smith, things turned out quite differently. In early May of 1834, Joseph Smith organized a camp of 100 who had volunteered to redeem Zion. On the 8th day of May, the army set out for the 1,000-mile journey. They were augmented by volunteers throughout the journey, eventually reaching just over 200 men. The history of the Army's march is well documented and need not be repeated here. In the end, Zion's camp marched to Missouri and encamped on Fishing River. While there on the 22nd of June, Joseph received a revelation where the Lord suspended operations, telling the saints that the redemption of Zion would have to wait for a little season. Zion's camp never conducted its expected military campaign and failed to meet its ultimate promise and objective, the redemption of Zion. In spite of its failure to redeem Zion, the modern church teaches that Zion's camp was not a failure per se. On the contrary, there were deeper purposes for the whole exercise: the training of the future leadership of the church and the testing of those who would be called to leadership positions.
Those who felt that Zion's camp was a failure did not understand the deeper purposes of the Lord. Individual testimonies were tested and strengthened, and it was a time of preparation for the future leaders in the kingdom. Just a few months after returning to Kirtland, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles and the First Quorum of the 70s were organized.
Some of you were angry with me that you did not fight in Missouri. But let me tell you, God did not want you to fight. He could not organize his kingdom with 12 men to open the gospel door to all the nations of the earth, and with 70 men under their direction, unless he took them from a body of men who had offered their lives and who had made as great a sacrifice as did Abraham.
Of the original 12 apostles called by the Lord in this dispensation, 9 faithfully endured Zion's camp. All 7 presidents of the 70s Quorum and every member of that quorum also served on the march. Later in my life, I too was called to be an apostle of the Lord. And I've often pondered what the Lord said. Ye cannot behold with your natural eyes for the present time the design of your God concerning those things which shall come hereafter, and the glory which shall follow after much tribulation. Be still and know that I am God.
There is some truth in the position. Several months after the disbanding of Zion's camp, Joseph Smith held a meeting where the first apostles were chosen and ordained. In that meeting, the prophet made it clear that the march of Zion's camp was not fruitless.